the Digital Desk. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatia.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I want us to start from that particular story that we had seen, just that story on Uasin Gishu. We've seen the parents are very emotional. Bring us up to speed with what's happening there.
Actually, it is something that started as a very small story, but it keeps on growing as time goes by. So in the previous regime, the governor of Uasin Gishu was now the senator, Jackson Mandago, and he came up with a program for education to cater for needy students and even those who are not that needy, so that they can go and get education abroad. So it was a partnership between the county government of Uasin Gishu and some other private firms outside there. So it was meant to take students to study in Australia, Canada, and Finland. Those are the three major countries that are being talked about mostly. So what happened is that a school in, according to now the county government, they are saying, some of these parents, it was like divided into cohorts because there was 957 million that was contributed by parents to cater for about 900 students who had shown their interest for this program. So the first cohort went, and when they got there, their parents defaulted on making the payments because they're supposed to cater for their accommodations, their academics, and now even how they feed and all that. So some parents defaulted. So according to Jackson Mandago, he says when these parents defaulted, they had to find a way of making sure the program stays intact even for the students who are coming in future. So they decided to use the money that was there for the students who had not yet traveled. So now this is what is bringing out the whole issue, because now these parents defaulted and their kids have learned with other people's money. Now these ones are stuck. So now what came out, there was some rumors, he says, about free education in Finland. Now this is what actually motivated these parents to not make these payments. So that is how all this thing and hell broke loose. So these people came out, they started complaining. And there was even another institution in Finland that wanted to discontinue about 100 students, and they started to block all this. So it came out, and it involved the ACC. Parents came out. There's a public outcry. The DCI was involved in this. Already we have over 100 students who have recorded their statements with the DCI so far. And the ACC has also launched investigations. They've established that as of now, the account that had 957 million only has 1.8 million shillings. And all these people are looking for money. And you can see from just the story we've seen how the emotions have run high, because now I was watching another girl, she was saying, I came here with my grandparent. He had to sell a piece of land to secure for me this slot, and I don't have. You who are seated there, now he was talking to the leaders, who is now the senator, governor, the deputy, and he was talking to them, telling them, your children made it and they are there. And it's true, when you look at this thing, it was meant to work, because personally I have friends who've gone to other countries through this program. So it was meant to work, and it is just that the logistics just didn't add up.
Something is just not adding up. Something is off. And of course you can understand why the emotions are high. But let's now just move on to another story. Of course, Niger has been going on for, I think this is the third week. Yeah, so the latest, of course, we had seen that the airspace has been closed.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Okay, the situation in Niger is still developing, but so far in the last 24 hours, there has not been much development. So ECOWAS, which is the regional bloc for West African states, it's like EAC for West Africa, had issued a deadline, and they told the coup leaders to make sure they reinstate President Mohamed Bazoum by Sunday midnight. And now, in response to whatever ECOWAS had said, the coup leaders decided to fill a stadium with their supporters just to show we are not going to do this, and even these people support us. So
and it's interesting, you see that the people, the citizens of the country do support the coup leaders.
They support the coup leaders, and it was like a celebration. There were it was just a jubilation of sorts. So now when they made these statements, a few hours to now the deadline lapsing, they closed the airspaces, and this has really affected most of the West African countries in terms of flights, because now even Air France had to cancel flights to Mali and Burkina Faso and all that. So basically we're going to see how this will develop, but ECOWAS has not made any pronouncements on the same since the airspace was closed. But what we know is that it has affected flights across Africa. There were so many suspensions and delays yesterday in major airports in the continent. So basically that is what is going on. But the mediation talks that are ongoing, we don't know if they'll bear any fruits yet, but the situation is still, like, it's developing a day at a time.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And of course, we've seen the coup leaders are very firm in whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about India. A guy called Rahul Gandhi. Tell us more about him.
Now, Rahul Gandhi is, should I say, is a veteran politician, or he comes from a family of politicians.
Right.
The mother, is it the mother, the grandfather, the great-grandfather were all prime ministers at some point. So basically he comes from what we'd call a dynastic family.
Right.
And he's been a very, should I call him a staunch critic of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Right.
So in March this year, he was a member of the ruling party in India, which is Narendra Modi's party, sued him for defamation. Apparently, this guy had made some interesting sentiments in 2019, where he was talking about the prime minister, presumably, because he said the utterance he made exactly was that, why do people who are called Modi always come out as quack or a bit shady? And he made reference to a certain tycoon there who is known for being shady, and a cricket administrator, the one who is in charge of cricket, who was also suspended sometime, and he also now mentioned the prime minister. So these are the things that got him in trouble with the government. He was taken to court and he was sued, got convicted, got 2 years in jail, but was given bail, and of course he managed to pay it. So last week the Supreme Court of India revoked the conviction. So now he's been cleared. He gets back his seat. Of course, India is also going for elections next year in May. So definitely he will run for, maybe defend his seat or run for a higher office. You may never know. Yeah.
And you know, in India, when it comes to like the case, or it comes to political families, they're very strong in that. Let's move away from, of course, the politics in those regions and talk about sports. The FIFA Women Cup has been pretty interesting, right? Pretty
interesting. Actually, some very interesting moments have stood out for me. Some people look like I was here. Others removed their shirts, which for a woman, I don't know. But anyway,
a little controversial.
Yes. Yeah. So today we are going to finish the round of 16, which is the knockout stage. Here, when you lose, you just go home. And so far, nearly all African countries have been kicked out. So today we have Morocco. Morocco is going to play with, let me just find out a bit. Morocco is going to play with France today at 2 p.m. and Colombia will be playing with Jamaica, and then we finish with the knockout stage. We proceed to the quarterfinals. So of course it's going to be very interesting if Morocco makes it, and that's a big if.
Yeah.
If they make it, then